it's Jessica. Today's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to tell you a story about myself, and I promise by the end there's going to be a point, so just bear with me. A couple years ago, I was waiting tables. I was in college. Literally, it was about 12, 13 years ago. I was just working my way through college, waiting tables at night, and I loved it. I actually went on to wait tables for 12 more years once I graduated college and just stayed in the restaurant industry before I became a coach, which I am now. So I am literally working. I would walk to work because I didn't have a car. So I'd walk about a mile and a half, and would work nights. And one evening, a gentleman came in. He's probably in his 40s, early 40s, and he said, "Party of one." Now, I was near the front, so I was greeting him, and I was going to go ahead and get him a seat since the hostess wasn't there. And what most servers say when someone says "party of one," you're like, "Right this way," or I think I just said actually just "party of one," and he said, "Unless you want to join me." And of course, you do like the server laugh, like, "Oh, I wish I could," working. And I went to seat him, and he kind of stopped me in my tracks, and he paused, and he looked at me awkwardly. And he said, just like this, "You have nice hair." Pause, pause, pause. And I was like, my hair was actually just like this. I'm thinking like, you can hardly see my hair. And okay, like just the way he did it and looked into my eyes was kind of creepy. So I was like, thank you. And immediately I made sure he was not eating dinner with me. And I sat him in another girl's station. So now while he's sitting in this booth, my station's toward the front of the restaurant. And how he would sit in the booth would be facing this way. But for some reason, he actually ate his whole meal facing out, staring directly at me the entire time. So at first I was thinking I was paranoid and overreacting, but then even my coworkers and other people in the restaurant started to notice and kind of be like, "Do you know that guy? Does he need something from you? Is he trying to get your attention?" Thinking I was his waitress. And I'm like, none of the above. So they're like, "Don't worry about it. We got you. Just keep doing your job and don't worry about him." And everybody kind of reassured me, who cares if he's a creeper? They got my back. So then I can tell he's about to leave. So I go to my table and I'm talking to my table. I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm just making sure that I don't have to talk to him. And I realize that he is waiting on me. So in my peripheral vision, I see he doesn't keep going. He's standing there. So I'm still talking to this table. I'm just asking them probably over and over how their meal is, and they're probably wondering what in the world I'm doing. And, as I stood there longer, he eventually went outside. Now we have this little lobby area with a big picture window that you can see right into the restaurant with the little free magazines below it, newspapers. So he didn't leave. He went and stood in that little area, and he picked up a magazine, and instead of reading it, he held it about right here, and he just stared in the window at me for 5-10 more minutes. So now everyone's kind of getting concerned because we don't know who this guy is or what the heck he's doing. And next thing you know, he's coming back into the restaurant. So when I see him coming, I start walking towards the back. So I can either go into the women's restroom or I can take a left and go into the kitchen. And he's bolting behind me. I mean, we're literally steps apart. I go straight into the women's restroom, like there's no way he's coming in there, hopefully. And my manager, had just been in the back for a second, sees what's going on and runs out and almost chases him down and says, "Excuse me, sir, may I help you? How may I help you?" And he said, "I just need to talk to her." And she said, "How may I help you?" And he said, "I need to talk to Jennifer," which my name is Jessica. So she knew, okay, you don't know her. And she said, "Why don't you have a good night?" And he's like, "I just need to talk to Jennifer for a minute." And she said, "Have a good night." And he left. So all of us are like, what in the world? And of course, like I said, I walked to work. They're like, "You're not walking home. We don't know who this guy is. Super crazy." And that was the end of it. We thought. And this is so nuts. Literally a year later, it was a year later, I'm working in the same restaurant. I'm a manager now, but I'm also waiting tables. And we were opening on a Saturday morning, me and one other server, and we're getting the restaurant set up, everything good, and in walks a gentleman in his early 40s. And I see this gentleman, and I immediately am like, oh, he looks familiar, which he could be a professor at my college, he could be a student, he could be a customer that come in there before. I just knew he looked familiar. And so of course I'm like, "Sir, how may I help you?" And he said, "I've never been back here. This is a really cute little setup, and it was a Mexican restaurant. We had all imported really pretty pottery and murals and fountains. And he's just like, this is so nice, you know, and he was selling, I guess, goods to restaurants like napkins and cups. So he was just wondering if he could leave his proposal to see if we'd be interested in switching our vendors. So I'm like, sure, you know what, let me go get, you know, the other lady, you know, maybe she can help you more with this. And he's like, okay, great. And so I'm going to walk off. And he said, wait a minute. You have nice hair. I am not kidding. And immediately I'm like, I know exactly who this is. So I like go racing to the back, and it's the same manager that was there the year before. And I'm like, he's here. Like, this is the nice hair guy. And I don't know if he just says that to everyone and it was coincidental, but it was like funny and creepy all at the same time. And she pretty much sent him on his way, and that was the end of it. But from that, you know, I've always been the kind of person that's like a do-it-yourselfer, and I'm a loner, and I don't need help, and I don't need anybody because I can handle it. And in this situation, obviously, I needed backup, and I needed her to step in, and I needed her help. And, you know, it kind of shows the importance of teamwork, even when you think, you know, I was in school, I'm walking to work, I got my job, I'm in control. But then guess what? We still need other people in our lives. And the importance of teamwork still exists even when you think, you know what, you got this. There might be a situation or a scenario where someone else stepping in and lending a helping hand, and you allowing them to do that, you know, will be helpful. So this was one experience for me where all of a sudden, you know, I was young and I thought I was invincible. And I'm not even saying that this would have resulted in anything, you know, negative, hopefully, but I could rest assured that, you know, my team had my back, my coworkers were there for me, and that I wasn't alone. So I don't know if you're going through life and you think you can do it all yourself, or even if you're struggling with something and you're keeping it all inside because you feel like you're the only one going through it. I guarantee there's someone out there that will listen, that will help you, that's there to encourage you. And if you don't have that person, you know, message me. I help people every day. We have a team, we're called Dare to Dream. We're a team of coaches that are simply regular people on a journey to get fit, to get healthy, to get our lives right, to get, you know, encouraged from the inside out. It's not just about the physical or the scale or muscles, but it's about being the best version of ourselves every single day. So if you need that in your life, if you don't have a team and you need a team, shoot me a message. I will message you back personally. You can email me, jessica@jessicabowsernelson.com. I will tell you you have nice hair, but I will also make sure you're safe and happy and motivated to get to where you want to go in life. So there's my crazy story for the week. Hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you next time.